Yes.
Yes, Ananya, briefly tell me about yourself.
Sir, I'm Ananya. I come from Mahbubnagar district of Telangana. I'm a 22-year-old graduate. I have majored in geography from Miranda House University of Delhi, and I have a minors degree in economics as well. Post my graduation, I've been preparing for UPSC Civil Services, and I'm a cricket enthusiast, sir. And during my free time, I like to read books, especially fiction, and I like to teach and mentor students as well.
Teach and?
Mentor.
Okay. When did you develop the habit of teaching and mentoring students?
Sir, it was during the COVID times when I first got introduced to the idea of mentoring and teaching. So it was a tough time for everybody, and students all across the world have taken steps by themselves in order to reach out to underprivileged students. So, for instance, there was a Stanford University platform called SOC, South Asian Winter Camp, which was about reaching out to not just underprivileged, but also students from South Asian countries in order to teach and make aware of them of the opportunities that are present to them post their probably 12th standard. So that was when I got registered myself as a teacher come mentor on this platform, and it was a wonderful experience, I would say so.
Okay, can you name the platform once again? I could not get it. SOC, yeah? SAC, yeah?
Sir, it is SAWC, South Asian Winter Camp.
South Asian Winter Camp. So
Yes.
in which months it happens generally?
Sir, it is named as a winter camp, but it happened in June to August, sir. As far as I remember, I don't know the exact reason. Probably it is because it's winter over there. But yeah.
Are you sure? You are a geography student, right?
Yes, sir.
So is May, June, July winter in Myanmar, Indonesia, these countries?
No, sir. I mean, the organization
out of South Asian countries, tell me out of South Asian countries, not only South Asian, Southeast Asian countries, Southeast Asian. Name the countries which have winter in the month of May and June.
Sir, I think sir, most of the countries of Southeast Asia are below equator. For instance, there is Indonesia, there is Philippines that are basically below equator, and I think they have winter in these months, sir. Whereas India, being in the northern hemisphere, above equator, have summer in these months.
Okay. So you said that most of the countries in Southeast Asia are below equator. Most of the countries. And you named two countries, Indonesia and Philippines. Tell me other countries which are below equator. First of all, are you sure Philippines is below equator?
Sir, sorry, sir, I'm not exactly sure of it, but I took it.
And regarding Indonesia, do you think entire Indonesia is below equator? Do you think?
Sir, I'm not sure of it either, but yes, sir, maybe some part of it.
Okay, anyhow, let's move on. This South Asian Winter Camp. You registered it when you were in graduation?
Yes, sir.
In second year of graduation?
Yes, sir.
And did you get a certificate from it?
Yes, sir, I did.
And whom did you teach? Which countries candidates did you teach?
So, teaching, I had students from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka. However, sir, mentoring, I did mentor only 2 students. One was from Sri Lanka, the other was from Bangladesh.
Okay, so they are from which class, the students?
So they were doing their +1 and +2 respectively. One was in +1, the other was in +2.
Very good, very good. Now see, when you spoke to Sri Lankan, is it a boy or girl?
Yes.
Is it a boy or girl? She's from Sri Lanka.
She's a girl. Her name is Tiani.
Tiani. Okay. See, Sri Lanka has gone into economic crisis and depression from last few years. Can you tell me the major reasons behind that, Ananya?
Yes, sir. So, firstly, I believe the policies that were in short term in nature is the primary reason that led Sri Lanka into economic crisis. For instance, the Sri Lankan heads of the government have wanted to make Sri Lanka a country dependent on organic farming, and thereby they have completely curtailed the import of fertilizers. However, sir, while this was a good initiative, I believe this was not pragmatic and it was very short-sighted in nature. So I believe the first reason is the short-sighted nature of policies. That also was because of lack of accountability of heads of the government to the people that has led to this crisis. And secondly, sir, I believe excessive dependence of Sri Lanka as an economy on other countries for its economic sustenance. For instance, Sri Lanka is heavily dependent on tourist inflows from other countries, and even for imports, it is dependent on fertilizers and aid from other countries. This excessive dependence on other countries for its economic sustenance has also somewhere impacted it, because this is a time of critical supply chain disruptions that are happening in our world economy. So excessive dependence on imports without a sustainable level of self-reliance is going to harm countries in the long run, which is what has happened with Sri Lanka.
So you said one is organic farming. Second thing is, instead of having self-reliance, they're extremely dependent on other countries. Can you name a few countries on which Sri Lanka is highly dependent on?
So firstly, Sri Lanka is dependent on countries like India for aid, as well as imports like fertilizers. And Sri Lanka is also dependent on countries like China. For instance, China is carrying out many infrastructure development projects in Sri Lanka, which are on a very critical debt-related position. So that is something that Sri Lanka is also dependent on. So I think primarily India and China are two countries because of the geographical proximity also on which Sri Lanka is dependent on.
See, countries like Nepal, Maldives, and Sri Lanka, these countries always have this dilemma of, if at all they are more dependent on China, it may affect relations with India. And if we are closer to India, it affects relations with China. So can you compare how Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Maldives balance the relation between India and China? And according to you, which country is really able to balance very well? And what is your suggestion regarding this? I want your suggestion regarding this.
Sir, firstly, regarding Maldives, I would say, sir, because of the nature of the governments that are there in Maldives, a particular government is completely pro-China and another government is completely pro-India. So there have been alternative periods of pro-China, pro-India narrative that has been going on in Maldives. And I think that Maldives has not been really good in balancing both of relations with both of the countries. And coming to Nepal, sir, while Nepal has been has had good relations with India, I believe from the past few years, especially because of the border issues that are going on with respect to Limpiadura and Kalapani areas, I believe Nepal has been inching closer towards China. And it is even relevant in the maps that it has been releasing and various other things that it has been doing. And regarding Sri Lanka, sir, I think Sri Lanka has been best among the three, if I would have to say, because Sri Lanka has not taken any explicit positions with regard to its over-reliance on any one of the countries. And it is unfortunate that Sri Lanka has gone into debt trap situation because of China, because of development of Hambantota boat and others. However, sir, I believe Sri Lanka has explicitly stated that it wants good relations with both of the countries, and it has never taken any explicit stand like Maldives, like it is doing with India Out campaign, or even Nepal, about its excessive inclination towards one country. Sir, as far as suggestions are concerned, for India, sir, I think the question is for India. What should India do?
Yes.
So, firstly, I believe India has not been doing knee-jerk reactions. So, for instance, even with what has happened with Maldives, India has been continuing with its aid and has adopted a pragmatic policy. It has not been taking knee-jerk reactions because it knows that India needs support of these neighbors in order to assert itself regionally and even globally. So India has to continue giving aid to these countries that it has been doing, and also complete projects on a time basis. Because if we promise more and deliver less, then definitely that is going to disillusion these countries. So I think India has to work on that front. And secondly, sir, I think more intra-regional trade and intra-regional integration has to be focused upon. There are enough multilateral platforms. For instance, there is SAARC, there is BIMSTEC. These multilateral organizations have to be utilized to their fullest potential. And they have to be effectively integrated so that India can very well become a good neighbor for these countries.
Okay. So you thought for a student from Sri Lanka and somebody from
Bangladesh, sir.
Bangladesh, right?
Yes, sir.
Presently in India-Bangla relations, in the present scenario, if you consider India-Bangla relation, are there any major irritants in the relation? Irritants?
Sure, I think with Bangladesh we have had really good relations comparatively, and we have done both the sides have taken really good steps in order to strengthen their relations. However, I do believe somehow there are some irritants, sir. For instance, the water issue is something that comes to my mind right now. There is Tista River issue, and there are several other rivers with which India and Bangladesh have not come to a conclusion yet. And secondly, sir, since India shares the largest land boundary with Bangladesh, there is this issue of immigration that is happening from Bangladesh that might pose security challenges to India's sensitive northeast. Apart from that, sir, there are also some extraterrestrial elements that are taking help from extremists that are present in Bangladesh, which is also one of the irritants that is there. Apart from that, sir, I believe even Bangladesh recently is becoming closer to China. If you see, it has entered into some agreements with China, and it is also entering into some major infrastructure development activities with China. While it is not as severe as it is with other countries like Maldives and Nepal, I believe India should be cautious. India should try to maintain its relations with Bangladesh as it has done before.
See, as you said, India should be cautious with any country that is becoming closer to China in general. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, African continent, most of the countries in Africa, China is investing more in infrastructure, and China is almost getting control in many African countries. However, Africa is very much required for India in the long term for mineral resources or otherwise also. So, in this direction, tell me what India is doing with Africa to counter the weight of China in Africa.
So, firstly, India's approach in Africa is radically different from what is being done by China. While China is focusing on deriving most benefits from Africa for itself, India has been doing it on a cooperation basis and cooperative basis. India believes in delivering democratic projects that are of some significance to Africa. For instance, the NGOs, the SCGs that are present in India, like Kudumbashri, are cooperating with African solar mamas in order to give them some projects that are beneficial to them. And secondly, so I believe India is also doing multilateral initiatives in order to benefit Africa. For instance, with Japan, we have Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, which has not taken full scale yet, but I believe is a good project in the sense that its aims and objectives are radically different from what is being done in the form of BRI from China. Apart from that, sir, I believe India is trying to give voice to Africa, sir. Recently in G20 summit, we have inducted the African Union as one of the members into the G20, which I believe is nothing but India is trying to give a voice to the global south, and Africa constitutes one of the major chunks of the global south, and I believe it is a significant empowerment step for Africa. So I believe these are some of the steps that India is doing, sir.
Okay. Then see, you're talking about organic farming in Sri Lanka, right?
Yes.
In India, there are many proponents of organic farming. Particularly in states like Punjab, Haryana, or all states affected by green revolution, scientists are proposing organic farming, at least most of the places. But still it is not being taken up by the farmers. Okay. Now if you become district collector of a particular village, particular district in Punjab or Haryana,
yes,
as district collector, if you want to promote organic farming in the district, tell me 3 or 4 major steps you would do, but your steps should be such a way that they have to convince the farmers. You should be practical in your approach. Tell me what you can do.
Yes. So firstly, I think I'll have clear communication with farmers because there are many prejudices as well as many hesitations that are there from the farmers if they have to switch from chemical farming to organic farming. So I'll try to have clear communication with farmers by engaging with experts and tell to them the benefits of the organic farming and also tell to them the realities that initially maybe the yields may be low, but in the long run, how it will benefit them. And I'll also try to engage with experts and demonstrate to them some of the successful organic farming initiatives that have been taken across the world, so that there is no information asymmetry or information gaps with farmers. And apart from that, sir, secondly, I believe it is extremely important to ensure that there is adequate input facilities that are available to them. So I'll make them aware of the various initiatives that are being brought out by the government in the organic farming sector, and I'll try to enroll them into these schemes so that they can benefit on the input front also, and they will have access to all the inputs necessary. And third, sir, I believe most important is marketing. Unless there is marketing, unless there are adequate marketing opportunities, I don't think farmers will be convinced about shifting to organic farming. So, sir, I'll try to promote marketing of these products by kind of giving wide marketing to them via social media platforms, or maybe encouraging cooperative marketing units so that they will be able to better find markets for them. And also, sir, I think, yes, sir, these are some of the steps that I would do in order to convince farmers.
You said about marketing, but for marketing, certification is very important.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the present certification system available in India for organic farmers. I mean, for organic products.
Yes, sir. Sir, currently there are two modes of certification, as far as I can recall, that are present for organic farming in India. So one is helmed by Ministry of Agriculture, whereas the other is helmed by Ministry of Commerce, I guess. Sir, while I'm not exactly aware of the details, I'm sure that there are certain irregularities and confusions regarding the certification system that is present. And I think they have to be streamlined so that there is less confusion among farmers in order to utilize them the best.
What kind of irregularities are you trying to mention here, Ananya?
So firstly, I guess there is confusion among which certification to adopt, I guess, in the sense that there is one of Ministry of Agriculture, like I mentioned, Ministry of Commerce. I think farmers are confused about
Are you sure that there is one certification by Ministry of Agriculture and one certification given by Ministry of Commerce directly? Are you sure about it?
Sir, I think Ministry of Commerce definitely has one, and Ministry of Agriculture is doing it with the help of some other regional organizations, if I'm not wrong.
These organizations means, are they global organizations, regional organizations, government organizations?
No, sir. Some setup, some kind of cooperative mechanism is present.
Cooperative or private?
Sir, not completely sure, but
Okay.
as far as I can recall, it's cooperative.
Okay. See, tell me difference between organic farming and natural farming.
So both kinds of farming are sustainable in nature. However, organic farming is something that still needs some kind of inputs to it, in the sense that there is requirement of organic manure, there is requirement of other kinds of inputs. However, so natural farming is something that is less dependent on such inputs, and there is less necessity to do anything ex situ or external. Rather, we are excessively dependent on natural regeneration capacity of soils or natural way of growing, rather than providing any sort of external inputs.
Okay. See, you are from Delhi University, and I think
Yes,
Mirinda House is like good college. What is the ranking of Mirinda House?
sir, it has been consecutively ranked number one in NIRF from the past 6 years, I guess.
In NIRF, entire India.
Yes, sir.
In DU or entire India among all universities, colleges, institutes, number one Mirinda House only.
Sir, in the college category, in the entire country, Miranda has been ranked the number one for the past 6 years under NIRF.
What are the parameters of NIRF?
So, some of the parameters that I can recall right now are the perception of the college among the peers. Secondly, there is also a parameter of graduation outcomes. Thirdly, there is also a parameter of research ecosystem that is there in the college. Yes, sir, these are some of the parameters that I can recall as of now.
What do you mean by graduation outcomes?
Sir, I'm not completely sure of it. Sorry.
And how do you measure perception? You
So
said
sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
you said three things. One is perception, then graduation outcome. Third is research. What is the research?
Research ecosystem opportunities that are available in the college.
Ecosystem outcome. Okay. First graduate outcomes. Okay, you're not sure about graduate outcomes. Perception also not sure, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, research ecosystem. How do you measure how do you measure research ecosystem?
So firstly, I believe infrastructure is critical. For instance, in our college, there are chemistry labs that are present. There is also DS Kotari Research Center that is present in our college. So I think firstly, infrastructure is something that is necessary. And secondly, I believe, sir, there has to be some sort of research environment also present in the form of teachers who can guide students in order to undertake research, as well as availability and access to websites. For instance, our college has access to JSTOR website, give free access to JSTOR websites for its students so that they can access journals and other kind of things. So I believe this is also something that connotes presence of research environment in the college. Yes, sir, these are the two primary things I believe.
You're discussing mostly about the inputs, infrastructure, websites, and all. But output is more important. No, you measure research of an institute based on how many papers are published from that institute, right? If no papers,
Yes, sir.
if no papers are published, only having infrastructure websites may not really help. I think. Anyhow, moving on.
Right.
Ananya, IITs are also considered to be among the top in NIRF, right?
Yes, sir, I believe they do.
So does NIRF rank IIT separately, a separate list, and Mirinda was a separate list, or is it a uniform list? Same list.
So they are in the separate list. So for instance, there is colleges under management category. There are colleges under engineering category. So in this way, they are ranking separately.
Okay. So in the category of university, is there a category like this? University category is there?
Yes, sir. There is a category called university categories.
Okay. So which university is in the top?
Sir, I'm not sure of it.
Okay. What are deemed universities and what are universities? The difference between universities and deemed universities. What is the difference?
So deemed universities so universities are basically, as we know, that are given recognition by UGC. Deemed universities are another set of universities which have not attained the status of universities, but such tag is given based on its performance in some of the categories in NIRF, the multidisciplinary nature of the courses that are being offered at such universities, and other such criteria.
Based on categories of NIRF.
Sir, based on performance of such universities in NIRF ranking in any one of the segments, it is also one of the basis on which a particular institution is given a tag of deemed university.
So to get to university, they have performed well in NIRF ranking. How do you
Sir,
know this?
it is one of.
How do you know
Sir,
that ranking in NIRF is essential for getting status of deemed university?
Sir, I'm not sure if it is mandatory, but yes, sir, while giving a tag, they usually also see if the institute is performing in any one of the categories, in any one of the criteria that is mentioned in NIRF, so that there is more credibility to the tag that is being given.
Okay. You have done BA Honors in Geography, Economy, English, and Environmental Science.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why did you choose Geography and Environment in your bachelor's? When you have taken those subjects, what is your idea basically? Why did you choose those subjects?
Sir, I've chosen geography as my major. Environmental science was something that was compulsory for everybody in their first years.
Okay.
So it was not a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only first year. Okay. Tell me geography. Why you chose geography? Why not economy? Why not political science? Why geography?
So firstly, I had geography in my 11th and 12th as well. So that is one of the natural reasons why
Okay.
geography was my preference in graduation also.
Right. Okay. So your option for UPSC is?
So my optional is anthropology.
So when intermediate and degree, you have taken geography, you didn't be honest from a prestigious college like within the house in geography. Why you left geography and took up something else?
So firstly, while I had limited time in my hand, sir, I had 1 year to prepare for the examination. So I was thinking about the practicality as well. I wanted a subject which was compact in syllabus and for which material was also available. So I zeroed in on some subjects, geography and anthropology and some of them. Sir, and then I compared the syllabi, sir. While I definitely did my graduation in geography, our course was heavily oriented towards the practicality of the subject rather than the theory, which is being tested in UPSC. So definitely I do have an advantage if I had taken geography, but I believed geography anyways, I was doing something new because of the theory part. And at the same time, sir, I became really interested in human and cultural evolution because I happened to read books of Yuval Noah Harari during COVID, especially the Sapiens book, which gave me deep insights into the nature of human and cultural evolution, which really got me interested in anthropology. And I started to pick some of the books of anthropology, post which I really gained an interest and took up anthropology. So.
Okay. So you have done geography, right? For 3 years. 3 years, no? 3 years course.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, Mediterranean region gets rainfall in which season?
Sorry, sir.
Mediterranean region. Mediterranean
Yes,
or Mediterranean? How to pronounce it?
sir, I think Mediterranean.
Okay. Mediterranean region. In which season does it get rainfall? Rainfall.
Sir, I think Mediterranean region gets rainfall in summer season.
You think or are you sure about it?
Sir, I'm not sure.
Then how can you say summer? Do you have any logical thinking behind the reason for telling summer? Is there a reason behind?
Sir, no, sir, it's just vague memory that I have. I happened to read somewhere that Mediterranean region has summer rainfall in summer region and no rainfall in winter season.
Okay, now tell me why Mediterranean has rainfall in summer and no rain in winter. What is the reason?
Sir, sorry, sir, I'm not exactly
Have
aware
you
of the
heard
reason.
of shifting of planetary winds?
Yes, sir, I did.
Which planetary winds blow on Mediterranean Sea? I mean Mediterranean region, sorry. Which planetary winds blow on Mediterranean region in summer season?
Sir, I have to look into this again, sir. I have to read a bit about it.
Okay. See, inside the earth, you might have studied about the earth, right, in geography. You might have studied about the interior of the earth, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
If you look at the earth's interior, the inner core and outer core, which one is a liquid?
See, the outer core is liquid, sir.
But where is temperature higher? Inner core, outer core?
Sir, as far as I can remember, temperature increases as one goes deep down into the earth. So I believe inner core is has more temperature than outer core.
If inner core has more temperature, then how can inner core be solid, outer core liquid? Is the material different?
So no, sir, I believe the material is same.
Then why?
It is nickel and iron.
Okay.
But so I think it's because of the pressure conditions, differences in pressure conditions that leads to.
I mean, 1 second, please. Sir, నేను మెయిన్ ఆఫీస్లో వచ్చి మెయిన్ ఆఫీస్ రండి మిక్సీ Yeah, can you please elaborate on pressure conditions? What kind of pressure conditions causes this kind of anomaly that higher temperature is solid and lesser temperature liquid?
So naturally, the inner core is subjected to more pressure conditions when compared with the outer core because of the depth of the uh, uh, layer. So since the pressure is more on the inner core, it is solid in nature, while the outer core is liquid in nature.
And economy, you have to take economy. I mean, economy is your minor. Is there for all 3 years?
Sir, it is a minor. It is there for 2 years, first and second year.
Okay. What is you might have heard about physical deficit. Do you call physical
Yes,
or physical?
sir, I call it fiscal.
Okay, physical deficit. Tell
Yes.
me what is primary deficit?
So while fiscal deficit includes all kinds of government borrowings that government has to repay, primary deficit doesn't include the interest borrowings that are there. It excludes the interest borrowings from the set of borrowings that a country has taken.
Then what is revenue deficit?
So revenue deficit is basically revenue expenditure that is in excess of revenue receipts, and it might not just include the interest borrowings, but also other kinds of revenue expenditure, whether it is expenditure on uh, regular schemes, maintenance schemes, and other such things.
So, for example, the interest paid on the loan taken from abroad, borrowings from abroad, interest paid. Does it come under revenue expenditure? The interest paid?
Sir, I'm not sure of it.
What is it?
Sir, I'm not sure of it.
Not sure. Okay. So, tell me the pensions. Pensions come under revenue expenditure, capital expenditure.
So they come under the revenue expenditure.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
This revenue expenditure, is it only of the governments or public also? For example, I have taken loan from some organization, some bank in UK, USA, and I'm paying interest every month, annual interest. As a person, my company pays interest. Do you count under the physical deficit, revenue deficit, or no? Is it only government related?
Sir, I think the revenue expenditure and any budget related statistics that are presented pertain to central and state governments only and not private sector.
Okay, so for example, if Telangana government borrows some money from certain banks in USA or Singapore, and if they're paying interest every month, Telangana government, is it counted in the national physical deficit?
Sir, I do not think it is counted in the national deficit, but rather if borrowing from foreign governments is in fact counted under revenue expenditure, then it might get reflected in state level, but not union level.
No. Are you sure about it?
Sir, no, sir, I'm not sure because I'm not sure if loans taken from interest being paid on loans taken from foreign governments is in fact reflected in revenue expenditure or not.
No. If it is reflected, is it reflected in the central government's revenue deficit or no? I mean,
No, sir, I don't think. No, sir.
okay. Now moving on, you are from Mahabubnagar, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the one district, one product of Mahabubnagar. First of all, is it there or not there?
Sir, I've not heard about it.
Okay, have you ever heard ODOP, one district, one product?
Yes, sir, I did.
Tell me some products for some districts that you know.
Sir, I have to look into this.
What are the single district? Entire India, you cannot recall it as single district also. Single district also.
Sir, I mean, I know some of the products, but I don't know the districts exactly where they come from.
Okay, tell me the products.
Sir, there is I heard there is something called Dokra craft that is there. That is also being promoted.
Which craft?
Dokra craft, Dokra metal craft is there
Okay.
that is being promoted.
Okay. Then
And yes, sir, this is one thing that I can recall.
if at all you are asked to suggest one product from Mahabubnagar, which product do you suggest for Mahabubnagar? Under what you work? If you have to suggest,
Sorry, sir?
if you have to suggest a product for Mahabubnagar,
Yes,
which
sir.
one would you suggest?
Sir, can it include agricultural products also?
Of course, it can. Have you
Yes,
heard
sir.
of black rice, Uttar Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
Siddharthnagar?
So Mahbubnagar is famous for custard apples. So probably I would suggest custard apples.
What is so unique about custard apples of Mahabubnagar? They are there in every district of Telangana. Not every, but many in Telangana districts.
Sir, I have heard that they're and also tasted them. They're more sweeter when compared with custard apples that I've tasted elsewhere.
Is it
So I
more
think this is
sweeter? Is it more sweeter or sweeter?
sweeter,
Okay.
sweeter than other
Okay.
custard apples.
Okay. So tell me how you can increase the revenue of the or income of the custard apple farmers. If you are agriculture secretary of Telangana, as you came from Mahabubnagar, you want to do something for districts. And
Yes.
in your hands, you have authority to take decisions and frame policies to increase the income of the custard. What is called custard apple?
Custard apple. Yes, sir.
Custard apple farmers. If you have to increase the revenue income, tell me 3 4 good suggestions.
So firstly, I think food processing has to be promoted. For instance, custard apples can be used to make some kind of jams. They also can be used in other kinds of uh, products, like for instance, they can be used to make some desserts. So that food processing is something that has to be promoted so that farmers will be able to have better marketing options in that sense. And secondly, sir, I believe marketing conditions definitely have to be improved. For that, I believe cold storages and other sort of storage mechanisms has to be provided to the farmers so that they'll be able to better have storage mechanisms in place. And then marketing conditions definitely have to be improved. Uh, Apart from that, sir, I think I can also try to get some sort of marketing in the sense that I can ask for if there's something unique about custard apples of Mahbubnagar, I can ask for GI tag to these products, and then I can market and brand them nationally as well as internationally, so that they will have more markets at the national level as well as international level. These are some of the steps that I would take in order to increase the revenue, sir.
Right now, are there any exports of custard apple to other countries from India?
Sir, I'm not sure of it.
Okay. Do you know that Banginpalli mangoes are not taken by European countries because of certain measures? Have you heard about that? When you try to
Yes, sir, I've
export,
heard of.
what are those
Yes,
measures? Under which measures the import of Banginpalli mangoes have been not accepted by several countries of European Union?
sir, I believe they are sanitary and phytosanitary measures that usually develop.
Sanitary, what is the difference between sanitary and phytosanitary?
Sir, separately, I don't know them, but together, I know that those pertain to pesticide residue limit as well as presence of other kinds of living organisms, and all such things will are catered to under such provisions, sir.
Okay. See, Telangana, after getting separated from Andhra Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
do you think its developmental pace is far higher than when it was in Andhra Pradesh?
So definitely, sir. I do believe Telangana's developmental pace is more than what it has been under United Andhra Pradesh. In fact, the performance of Telangana in various indices that are released by the national government also points out to the fact that Telangana has been doing well. And in fact, sir, even at the per capita levels and other
Okay.
such fronts, also Telangana has been doing well.
Okay, now tell me, in Telangana during the recent elections, a scheme has been asked to be stopped by the Election Commission,
Yes, sir.
and Telangana government actually criticized that decision from Election Commission. Can you name the scheme?
Sir, it's Raitu Bandhu scheme, sir.
Why do you think criticism from Telangana government is acceptable according to you? Shall we really stop payment to farmers during elections?
So definitely model code of conduct and other such things are extremely essential in order to preserve the free and fair nature of elections. And Election Commission of India has discretion in order to decide what constitutes a violation of MCC and what is not. So regarding the criticism of Telangana government to the Election Commission's actions, sir, it was a statement by political leader that actually triggered Election Commission's decision that when voters are going about to vote, they will have uh, a message that Raitu Bandhu's income has been deposited into the banks. This is something that might actually trigger some sort of issues in the voters' behavior. So yes, sir, I believe Election Commission of India has a rightful authority in order to judge what constitutes violation of MCC and what does not.
Okay. Recently, there is a water dispute. It's there for quite some time, but recently it has been the news continues between AP and Telangana. Can you tell me what is tell me exactly what is the dispute?
So there are a couple of reasons the dispute has been going on. Firstly, sir, Telangana wants 50-50 share in the rivers that are flowing from it, so that it will not be deprived of the water share. That is one of the reasons, the 50-50 demand that is being demanded by Telangana. And secondly, sir, there have been allegations from both sides that both the states have been building dams and barrages in order to take water from the rivers. That is, in fact, harming the other states. This is also another.
Ananya, 1 second. You're telling that there has been criticism from both the state that we are
Yes,
building
sir.
dams. How
Yes,
does
sir.
building dams in Andhra Pradesh affect Telangana?
Sir, I think lift irrigation projects in Andhra Pradesh requires water to be lifted from the rivers that are there and that are flowing through Telangana, and that might hinder access to water in Telangana, even though it is an upstream region. But still, lift irrigation projects can be taken up to reduce the water level. So I think that is the reason, sir.
So if Andhra Pradesh constructs a dam, does it affect water in Telangana?
So definitely, Telangana is upstream region, so in that sense, it wouldn't affect it directly. But sir, there are norms regarding certain water levels that have to be maintained in dams and other such criteria, which might get violated when Andhra Pradesh tries to draw water from such dam.
But see, my question is specifically which river and what is the exact problem? Recently, in the recent last few months, continuously in the news, Telangana and AP has a problem with, they have water dispute, no? What is the exact problem?
Sir, I have to read about it a bit more.
At least can you take a guess which rivers are flowing commonly with David Telangana?
Sir, Godavari and Krishna.
Anything else?
Sir, I think these two only.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
See, in Telangana, with the criticism that the development is being centralized on Hyderabad. Criticism is there. Do you agree with the criticism? Do you also think that in Telangana development is highly centralized in Hyderabad? First of all, yes or no, according to you?
So yes, sir. Historically, also, if you see, Hyderabad has been a growth point for the entire Telangana. However, sir, I believe times are changing. For instance, district reorganization has been done in order to make the development more decentralized. That is one step that Telangana has taken. Apart from that, sir, even now, IT is something that is excessively concentrated in Hyderabad region. But the government has been trying to take IT to other regions also. For instance, IT towers are being set up in other districts of Telangana. And there is some policy by government called grid policy, which incentivizes companies that are establishing industries outside of core Hyderabad region. So there are some of the steps that are being taken in order to decentralize the growth that government has also recognized has been heavily concentrated in Hyderabad.
So grid policy and 8 hours.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, is centralized development happening? Not happening. Centralized development in Telangana.
So right now, decentralization is the focus of the government, but historically it has been centralized only.
Tell me the examples of decentralization. Other than the IT towers and grid policy, tell me major decentralized development examples.
So first is district reorganization in order to increase
How?
access of people to.
How district reorganization helps in decentralization from Hyderabad? How districts, if divided somewhere else, how it affects the Hyderabad development of the districts?
Okay, so got it. I think from decentralization from Hyderabad is the question.
Tell me examples of decentralized development. I mean, decentralized means other than Hyderabad, other places developing. There is a point.
Yes, sir. So, for instance, in the outskirts of Hyderabad, there are pharmaceutical companies that are coming up. There is medical devices park in Sultanpur, and Geno Valley is also there. That is one example. Secondly, sir, there are food processing industries that are coming up in districts like Karimnagar and Islamabad. That is also one thing that connotes decentralization. And yes, sir, these are two primary examples that I can think of.
Recently, some MSM industries in Telangana are becoming popular. Can you tell me which sector MSM industries are growing very strong in Telangana? MSME industries.
So, IT is something where MSMEs industries are growing in Telangana. In fact, government has also been taking steps like global linker chain in order to connect MSME IT industries to the global market. Secondly, I think space is an interesting area, sir. We had some of the startups and MSMEs from space that are also sending private satellites. So that is an interesting sector that I can think of. Yes, so these are the two sectors.
Any examples from space? Tell me one company from space which attracted your attention.
Sir, I think one is Skyroot. Yes, sir, I can think of Skyroot.
Skyroot is established by whom?
Sir, I'm not aware of it.
Established by a bunch of engineers, okay, who worked 3 years in ISRO. Okay, now, tell me, India requires better bureaucrats. I mean, not better in the sense, India is in more dire need, demand, requirement of whom? Bureaucrats or entrepreneurs, according to you? Though both are important, if you have to choose one, which one?
Sir, in my opinion, India is in more need of bureaucrats, better bureaucrats. So the reason I say this is that, sir, there is no lack of talent in India, sir. I believe there are entrepreneurs, innovators that are coming up from grassroots level also. However, for these entrepreneurs to display their talents on the professional front, it's extremely crucial that they have a certain regulatory environment that is conducive for them to showcase this. And to facilitate such kind of environment, I think bureaucrats become crucial, sir. So if there are better bureaucrats, I think they will facilitate ease of doing business for not just entrepreneurs, but also for other sorts of professionals, which I believe will go a long way in making India.
Okay. If I had to ask you, talented young people like you, does India need more talented young people in politics or bureaucracy? Political leaders or bureaucrats?
Sir, I think politics is one area where it is heavily deprived of young talent, I believe, sir. While there is significant attention that is given to bureaucracy from young sections of people, politics is an area that has not been able to attract young talent. And I believe if young talent gets into politics, I believe there will be a new way of thinking and they'll be able to better propel the nation forward. So I believe politics is one area where youth has to be attracted.
Okay. Then why do you think people like you who are from Delhi University, where you actually the political center, of India, where you can learn politics and you have access to get into politics, why you are not trying for politics? I'm not telling you why you're coming to bureaucracy. I know why you're coming to bureaucracy, but why you're not trying for getting into politics?
Sir, I believe politics is an area where there are invisible entry barriers that are present, sir. So, for instance, bureaucracy is an area where there is respect that is given to merit and open recruitment systems are there. However, sir, if you want to enter into politics, I believe there are invisible entry barriers like money power, muscle power, which definitely hinder a young, talented individual who has to invest a lot of years to make a career in such fields. So, I believe one is entry barriers, sir. And second is, sir, the perception regarding politics in India is something that is not really good. Uh, People believe that politics corrupts the moral character, and politics is an end in itself, is an end to achieve power and make money. So I think the perception of politics as a very respectable career is something that is yet to grow in India.
Okay. Okay. You won presents in what geography B, spell B. I mean, what is geography B?
Sir, it was a state level competition that tested students on just the knowledge about geographical places and things like that, sir.
Oh, mostly places.
Yes,
You
sir.
participated in your college days or your school days?
So it was in my school days.
Hmm. So you won medals. There is state level, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Why you have no sports? I mean, Miranda House does not provide you any platform for playing any kind of sports.
So no, sir. There is adequate infrastructure at Miranda House, the basketball court, the tennis court that is present. However, sir, I was engaged in other societies also at my college level, and geography was in fact a demanding course. So it was on my part that I wasn't able to find time to play sports.
In future, do you want to develop any interest? I mean, do you have interest to participate in any sports in future?
So
Any
yes, sir,
sports
definitely.
attracts you? Yeah.
Yes, sir, definitely. I'm interested in tennis and cricket. These are two sports that I love watching,
Oh,
and maybe I'll try to play them.
you watch cricket?
Yes, sir. I'm in fact
Tell
really
me,
interested.
tell me technologies used in cricket in the decision review or decision taking. Tell me the technologies used in cricket.
Sir, I'm not aware of the exact technology, but I've heard the name called Hawkeye, which is used in DRS, I guess, sir. That is one technology I heard of.
What is hockey?
Sir, I'm not sure of it.
Generally, if the ball touches the bat or not, has to be found out sometimes. When you watch cricket, sometimes when the bowler, claims that the ball touches the bat,
Yes, sir.
in the decision review system or decision taking, what technology do they use?
Sir, I think it's Hawkeye only because it will be able to ascertain if the ball has touched the bat or not, and then the umpire can take a decision.
Are you sure how hockey helps you in understanding whether the ball touches the bat?
Sir, I've seen that if the ball touches the bat, there is some spikes that are shown on the television usually to indicate that there has been some contact between ball and bat. So I think
What are those spikes?
sir, I'm not exactly sure of it.
No. Reading Dan Brown fiction. Oh, specifically Dan Brown fiction. Why do you read only Dan Brown?
Sir, I was introduced to Dan Brown fiction by a friend. I read one of his books initially, Angels and Demons, and then it's basically historical fiction. And post to that, sir, I was really interested in the way the author carries out the whole book. Like the whole story happens in 24 hours, and there are references to history, mythology, and a lot of crime thriller is also.
One is Angels Demons, the other book.
Sir, I also read, because of Dan Brown, I got interested in historical fiction and mythology related books. And accordingly, I read Amish Tripaঠি's books. He's an Indian author.
What I'm saying is Dan Brown's fiction only. Other
Yes.
than Angels and Demons, which books have you read?
So there is Da Vinci Code. There is Origin, Lost Symbol. Inferno. These are some of the books I read, sir, of Dan Brown.
What is the climax of Inferno?
So, climax of Inferno is basically about technology. It states that, I mean, how AI outdoes human mind is something that it ends with, sir, basically.
There is the climax. Are you sure?
Yes, sir. That is how it ends, the whole conclusion part of it.
What is the origin? Origin? What is it? Other
Yes,
book?
sir. Da Vinci Code Origin.
How does it origin? What is the ending of origin? Origin.
Sir, ending of Origin is also about how science and religion basically try to overpower each other, and how
Is that
ultimately.
no? Sorry, Ananya. Yeah. See, I want exact conclusion. What are the last few pages of the book?
Sir,
I want to ask you
Origin.
the theme of the book. You tell me the theme.
Sir, Origin ends by stating that how a person in the book, that is a priest, brings back the glory of the church by exposing the fault lines that are present in science. This is how it ends, sir.
Good. And you're reading Amish Tripathi also.
Yes, sir.
Any Indian do you know who won Pulitzer Prize?
Pulitzer Prize.
Any Indian author?
So no, sir, I'm not aware.
Do you know any Indian novelist who has won the recent Padma Awards? Any Indian novelist is there?
Sir, I'm not sure of it, sir.
Tell me some famous awards for authors. Pulitzer Prize. Then
Sorry, sir.
tell me some famous prizes, international prizes won by the authors, writers. Like how I said Pulitzer Prize, no? Like that, name some very famous prizes, medals.
So there is Man Booker Prize.
Who won the Man Booker Prize from India?
Arundhati Roy has won Man Booker Prize for God of Small Things from India.
And then?
Sir, I think Arvind Adiga for his White Tiger has also won a Man Booker Prize, sir.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Who won the Pulitzer Prize? Both of them did not win the Pulitzer Prize. Which is more prestigious? Which is got by a few? Pulitzer or Booker Prize?
Sir, I think Pulitzer is more prestigious than Man Booker Prize.
Okay. Continue. Any other prizes?
Sir, even Nobel Committee gives prizes in literature for the authors. That is there.
Okay.
And apart from that, even at India, there are many prizes like Jnanpith Award, CSAT Academy Award, and
tell me some few winners of Jnanpith Award.
Sir, Gulzar is one person I can think of that has won Jnanpith Award. Sir, even from Telugu states, I think Sri has won a Jnanpith Award.
Tell me some famous books by Sri.
Sir, Mahasangramam is something that I can think of.
Mahasangramam. What is the theme of the book? I mean, what does he tell in the book?
Sir, I'm not aware of it, sir. Sorry.
Okay. You never read any Telugu novels? You don't know English novels?
Sir, I've not read novels per se, but yes, sir, I do read some of the poems and good lines from Telugu.
Okay. What is green nudges? You mentioned implementation plan of green nudges. What is green nudges?
So, nudges is basically a behavioral economics concept that tries to incentivize people to adopt a certain modes of behavior. So, green nudges is basically a behavioral economics concept again that nudges participants to adopt green practices and green behaviors that is environmentally conscious.
What is your role exactly? What have you done there?
So my role is that of a coordinator. I tried to collect ideas from my class people who were giving me very innovative ideas. And then I tried to discuss it with a group of students regarding which ideas can be implemented, which cannot be implemented, which are not feasible. And then I again coordinated that with people who are actually implementing them, like the class representatives of other departments and other such stuff, so that they will be implemented on the ground level. So my role basically is that of a coordinator, sir.
Yeah, good. Okay. Sure, more control on urgent time, na? Wait. Ananya, before I end the interview, anything you want to tell me?
Sir, nothing, sir.
Okay. So Ananya, it is over. Okay.